because people not gonna read
We
that,
all
bro.
we all have the
But
opportunity.
but look,
Yeah, I
what
mean,
I
my,
think
my
is,
my dad would just be offended. Like, I mean, if I, was because
Who
I mean, I
cares?
actually have. No, I
these
don't.
networks are not even getting clicks like that. So this shows like there's an opportunity for this. What we're doing here on this show.
Born in a bad situation, and I don't know how to get it out to the masses. I can do it. It's almost like going to a street corner, handing out a flyer, like save your baby type shit. You know, these single mothers ain't got control of these babies. Number one killer of black babies is abortion. You know, everybody having sex, doing this and that. Oh yeah, you guys were talking about that yesterday. That's what I was listening to before I fell asleep.
Yeah, but what about look? Let me
Responsible
argue.
reproduction. There's
I've been
nothing. There's nothing wrong with sex.
I forgot to make the argument though on this because um what about those let me ask you this, Doc is here too. What about those kids after they're born, Doc? Like this is one of the things that really bothers me about pro-life, the pro-life stance, and Pat is pro-life too. Um Generally, I mean he says he's not, but he really is pro-life. But and that's okay. I'm not judging anybody that's pro-life. What I'm saying is, what about those kids where after they're born? It's like you gotta freaking have this baby. You know what I'm saying? So, but as soon as the baby is born, though, you know, the life is precious in the womb. As soon as they come out the womb, though, shit, you better find some, shit. I'm not feeding that baby. You better work that shit out. What I'm saying is, if you're really pro-life, then you should care about that baby as a child and even as an adult as they grow up. Like, what kind of life are they gonna have? Are they gonna be living in a barn with rats, you know, and eating shit? You know what I'm saying? And so what's the value of life and as far as like your existence? You know what I mean? Everybody should have the chance to live a decent life, right? And that's what they say. But you got plenty of people living like that all over the world, even in the United States. So why don't we have systems in place for that? But then we'd be like, well, where's the money going to come from? Okay, well, damn. So then let's go back to abortion then. Because if the mom didn't have to have that baby, then that family don't have to take on this added pressure of providing for that child. As harsh as that sounds. Doc says quality of life. I'm sure I said it wrong. I'm dyslexic. I say things backwards as hell, but Doc always knows what I really mean. I kind of want to. We could wrap this little abortion thing up, but I kind of want to change topics, and kind of lighten it up a bit. Sometime in the past, we did a show talking about stories and telling stories and stuff like that. You know, I'd like to hear some stories of something that happened or whatever, because I feel like what happens is people really they attach themselves to stories, but also they learn from them, like whether it was something that happened for real or not. And that goes back to what we were saying about the allegory in the Bible, Easter, the story of Jesus. You know, I think as humans, we kind of stories is the best way we learn, and that's how it has been for us historically. Talking around the fire, and you tell a story, and that story is to teach you something about your life that you live right now. So either one of y'all that's here right now, y'all got anything y'all want to share, like that?
I think personally, I think people need to mind their own motherfucking business. I've been through some things where It's a true story. Um, my mom was single. My father wasn't there. He had excuses his whole life, and I lived up. I lived beyond that better, and then I kind of fell down a little bit, and it was all about money. That's really what it was all about. My mom's like, "Oh, your dad never. He was never there for you. He paid child support." And my mom didn't know nothing about it because she was getting money through the state. And I'm like, wow, it took me to interject and communicate between you guys that, Dad, you were there for me, but you weren't there for me like physically and emotionally.
And it probably
And I'm
wasn't
not gonna I'm
his
not gonna
fault.
hold that against you because I'm not gonna hold it against you because I think it would set us back even further. Great man, awesome person, but he was like, I just didn't, want to be there. No, actually, it's not that he couldn't be there. It's like I had to make a decision. My mom was dying. I was hooked on drugs and this and that, and I'm like, man, I got to take a step back. I can't be all that pain and all that hurt and all those struggles and all those years. I'm not gonna let that destroy me. Yeah, my mom's my hero. My dad's my hero, and I'm gonna stick to that. So, what are we gonna do right now, moving forward?
Well,
What are we gonna do?
I have to say, try to break that cycle. It's too many of these damn stories like the one you just told me. I hear it's like everybody I know has a similar story, bruh. What the fuck? We need to break that cycle. That is, you said, what do we do? We need to break that cycle. So we need to make sure that our children aren't going through these types of things. And that goes to that selfishness, that ego, that only looking through things through my perspective that lead, and also looking at children like objects, like I own them. That's a life. You don't own it. You know what I'm saying? That's fucking crazy, and it bothers me. It's like your pets. Like, and that's why I don't like pets now, because of more I've learned. Like today, I was a couple came in and they had a little dog, really really cute dog. It looks like an expensive dog, and they had it in a little bitty cage, and they brought it to the table with it. It was sitting next to them the whole time. The dog's trying to like wiggle out of the cage, and he's moving around and stuff, and they're all kind of like pushing him back in the cage and shit. And I'm like, you know, it hurts my heart, bro. That kind of shit could bring tears to my eyes, bro. Sentient beings, bro. And like that's why I don't like the zoos, and I don't fuck with zoos no more. Because when I see them animals in them cages, I see myself, and I see myself in an invisible cage without
Man,
bars.
you is not lying. I'm telling you, I've been to zoos when I was little, and I'm like, I'm not happy. I kept telling my mom that, like, I'm not happy here. Like, this is cool, whatever, but no,
Those
let's go.
animals, they're suffering, bro, and you can see them suffering. They have mental illnesses, all kinds of problems, even physical ailments that are as a result of living in this prison. Who the fuck wants to live in a fucking prison? So the dog in the little bag, I'm bringing him as it's cute. I want to be like the chick from the movie Clueless, or I want to look like the aristocracy or some shit. I want to look like I'm better than my friends and be cool and make videos of it. Meanwhile, this damn alive thing, you're keeping it in a little cage and it's not getting to move around and live actual life itself. It's your fucking ornament. You know what I'm saying? It's your fucking accessory. But this thing is alive, bruh. It's alive, man. And that's not proper treatment for a thing that's alive. I don't like it, and I don't condone it. It really bothers me. And people treat their kids like pets. You know what I'm saying? That's where I'm going. That's the connection. You know, they treat their kids like pets, and then they're like I say, a sociopath, a psychopath, and they don't care about nobody else's feelings, not even their wife or their child. You know, and it really fucking bothers me a lot that humans walk around with, you know, that way, you know. And you said, what's the answer? The answer is break somehow try to find a way to break these damn generational curses of treating children like objects and not like just little humans, and get to the point where you have respect for that human, that living sentient being, that them having their father and mother in their life is important to their development into a functioning fucking sentient being. Like, you are robbing them of like half of them, of half of what would help make them who they are. And then, you know what's crazy about that? It's not only the dad that you're shutting out of that child's life, you're shutting out the uncles and cousins and aunties that would care about that child too. The child needs a car, like a car. I think I didn't have a car in high school, but it would be nice. Uncles and aunties and shit like that tend to be the ones who do shit like that. They can help. They can leave some land to that child. They can pay for their college. They can take some of the burden off of you. Why do these single moms feel like they want to do it all by themselves? And everybody's suffering. The mom is suffering because she's trying to do all of this by herself. The child is suffering because all the sustenance they get is from their mom. They could be having dad, uncles, aunties, grandma, grandpa is shut out of the life on the dad side. This is a disaster. This is a fucking tragedy. What's up, Pat?
What's up?
Caught me on the
Hey,
right.
but I've seen a real decline since the pandemic, and people just like my grandma. I know for sure she be like, "Don't come around here." Like, shit, the pandemic just passed, and I don't know you susceptible or anybody else. I just know her, and it's like, Grandma, how many grandkids do you got? You need to build a relationship with them. And I think it really kicked in when she was like, you know, the holidays come around. You got 15 grandkids. You gonna buy an iPad for all of them? Talk to me. No, just come to a gathering and let's all cook together and, you know, kiss and hugs and appreciation.
The iPad is a
Nope,
cop out anyway.
It's not happening.
The iPad is a cop out anyway, and that's another part of this capitalist system that they taught us to be detached from connections to people. You know, every kid don't even want an iPad. Like, you need to know that child. You need to have a connection to them to try to figure out what you can get them as a gift that they would like. They might just want some time. They might just want to walk in the park. You know what I'm saying? And that would be the greatest gift you could give them. Way better than the iPad. Like, this is the thing. We feel like money, that's where the disconnection comes to. Money is the answer to everything. We don't have to have a connection to these people. Just give them some money. Give them a gift card. You know what I'm saying? You know, a thoughtful gift. This is what I always felt like. A thoughtful gift goes a long ass way. It doesn't matter how much it costs, but when you know a person likes a specific, like their favorite chocolate bar or something. Maybe they told you in passing that their favorite chocolate bar is such and such and such. And you send them some of that candy. You show up with some candy or their favorite candy. And they're like, damn, bro, like, I didn't even know you knew that. Like, that's going to touch somebody. Just sending them a gift card, they're like, whatever. Okay, yeah, thanks for the gift card. I'm going to buy whatever the hell I'm going to buy. Let me read comments. Doc says the best gift a grandma can give is memories of her being there. I agree with you, Doc. Talking to them. You know what I'm saying? That's the ancestor knowledge. Okay, grandma, I'm in it. you know, us connecting to our ancestors and giving praise to them. So even Elliot, even if they do disregard you in that way, like your grandmother maybe gives you a hard time or whatever, I think that it's still, you should be up in their ass, call them, show up, kick it with them, chop it up with them, ask them fucking questions, dig the value out of them.
Oh, how do you say it? Like I get in their ass, you know, when I do come around, and it's the sentimental things. It's like you said, just the relationship, and we have to have that connection. I don't care about none of that iPad stuff. It's
Some biscuits, some homemade biscuits, breakfast. My grandma,
it's the little things.
my grandma used to make homemade biscuits. She would make breakfast. All the little cousins are there, and she's cooking breakfast, homemade biscuits and shit. And like that right there, bro. Like, I mean, what a better gift than that? And that memory and that experience, and her showing me how to make them. Like to this day, I don't know. I couldn't do it, but I was there with her in the morning, helping her make breakfast. I would go out and get the eggs and fight the rooster and shit. You know, but that was an experience, and that's a memory that I still have to this day. So, and I didn't know how to deal with chickens before that. My grandma taught me how to deal with chickens because she would force me to get up early in the morning and go fight the damn rooster to get these eggs and shit. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I learned a lot through that. You know, now that what a better gift than that.
Another thing I experienced, it was really weird, was like some person has more money than the other person, like, you know, grandparents, and they're like, that's probably the only reason I use the whole iPad aspect. Is like she just showed up, PlayStation 3, 4, iPad. This person got a tablet, this and that, and everybody's kind of looking like, damn, I don't have that. And I was like, who gives a fuck? Let's have a good time. Let's hug. You're gonna go back to your 9 to 5. Popeye's trying to get his pension, and like,
I hate that shit though. What
that
I'm
shit is
saying
weird.
is, it comes
But
from
when you're outspoken, that's kind of why I'm like, I'm not even a black sheep or nothing like that. I'm just an outspoken person. Like, okay, this is cool, but don't think you're better than anybody. You know,
that's what I was about to say.
this is not what this is about.
That's not what it's
not why
about.
we're here.
That's what I'm about to say. It's that's what I hate. It comes from an ugly place because, you know, like those kind of gifts, because it's like other people can't, like, even if the mom and the dad can't even give the child, they can't afford to give these kind of gifts. And then this is coming from an ugly place because it's really a self-satisfaction, saying I'm better than you because I could buy these expensive gifts that you can't buy. You know, I'm better than everybody else at the party. Look at the gift I gave. But see, it's all about me. It's all about me. I'm just looking at this through my perspective.
That's what I talked about earlier. Mini-me Satanism.
Yes.
Like, you know, motherfuckers don't even know they're a Satanist without being like, let's cut all that shit out. Let's have a holiday where we just, everybody participates and nobody does anything other than that.
You know, but people have got this competition. It's all about, you know, it's all about me, and it's all about me winning. This is what I wanted to talk about too. I hate that fucking in the hood. I hear this so much. Shit, I won on them niggas. I won. Shit, I'm winning. You know what I mean? But when they say that though, most of the time it means like they cheated. They, you know, they stole something. You know what I'm saying? They did something shady. You know what I mean? And then they call that winning. You know what I'm saying? I'm winning on them. That's how I'm supposed to do. That's the game. That's how the game go. You know what I mean? Like you pinched off somebody's weed or something like that. Like I'm winning. Like, no, bro, that's roach shit. That's fucking crabs in the bucket mentality. That's fucking like you're not winning. Actually, you're losing. Like my daddy used to say, like it's a $20 nigga, meaning like you let somebody borrow $20 and they'll never give it back, and then they don't fuck with you no more because they're embarrassed about it. That was their value is $20.
Hey, but my thing is, if it took $20 to make me realize who you are, then hey, it was worth the $20.
Exactly. Let me read the comments.
And
Man, y'all,
go
y'all,
ahead.
y'all really kind of hitting the spot with me. But yeah, go ahead and read the.
Let me read the comments and then go ahead. After that, Doc says my extended family is full of some really screwed up people, but my parents were fair and let me get to know them all and chose myself if I wanted to know them. I'm sorry, I feel like I chopped that up. Let me bring that again. My extended family is full of some really screwed up people, but my parents were fair and let me get to know them all and chose myself if I wanted to know them. And that's exactly what I did with my daughter because I did the exact same thing. Like, her mom's, like I said, her mom is white. It's a totally different thing. And a lot of people would have, after her mom died, I had no reason to really just keep her in contact with that side of the family at all. But Anaya has all kinds of contacts with them and she has her own relationships with them. I never wanted to be that guy. She deserves to know. It helps her know herself. I'm robbing her of that if I was to keep them out of her life, regardless of what I feel about them, regardless of how, regardless of my perception of them. And Doc says, brother bagging someone may get you a buzz, but you lose your reputation. Yeah, brother bagging someone may get you a buzz, but you lose your reputation. And you lose your friend, and you lose your integrity, you lose your character, street cred. That's what it's all about. I stand on my name. My word is my bond. If I said I'm going to do something, you better believe hell and high water, I'm going to die trying to do that shit just because I said I was going to do it. Go ahead, Pat. You wanted to make comments.
Oh man. Nah, I think I don't like my son has never spent the night with my dad and stepmom. Like, just I don't know. They're, as far as I'm concerned, they're selfish, and I mean, this is just one of those things. Like, they they are different from pretty much the rest of the world. Considering our families, because we're just regular country folk, and I think my dad. I think things would be different if my dad was single or if he was by himself, because he has an influence. But at the same time, I can't blame my stepmom because he's a man, and if he really wanted to spend time with my son, because I mean, before he was born, my dad was like, at least I'll be able, I'll get to see my grandson, and this and that, whatever. But that's when I was living in, he had a rental house I lived in Baton Rouge before I moved to Houston, and then but after that it was just like, well, we ain't gonna be doing no babysitting, and like, babysitting. Is that what you consider it when you have
And
your?
you should want you should want to, and that's generational curses. What the fuck happened? How did this happen? How did we get here? But I would say, Pat, again, and I'm not trying to be harsh, but I think we gotta kind of force, we gotta kind of squeeze. You can limit it, of course, and manage it, but you still, I think, this is my personal opinion. I'm not trying to get in your business, but what I'm saying is we need to try to extract the value out of these people for the sake of for the sake of the next generation.
Well, I
Yeah,
mean, I,
and
I, I mean, I don't. Maybe I'm being selfish because I'm not gonna force my child onto somebody else, especially if they got a bad attitude about wanting to be
my
around
my
my kid.
grandma my grandma was born in this house, and I don't know past that, but like her grandma was probably in slavery. I can make that accusation, and
Mine are in slavery right
she's just
now.
shut off and she doesn't communicate. Like I'm asking you, you know what I mean? Like I'm asking you a question. You can cook good and all that. I can cook good too. We can really compete, but that's here nor there. We're talking about like what happened to you? Why do you think the way that you think? Things have changed. Don't be stuck in your ways. They say you can't teach a old dog new tricks. Like and it really hits to the heart where you're like, man, goddamn, like we're
Well, I
really
mean, you
good
know,
right now. We're
I
doing
shouldn't.
really good in life.
Yeah, I mean, I shouldn't be too surprised because I mean, you know, I was, you know, my dad wasn't really in our lives. You know, I mean, you know, he paid child support. You know, he came around from time to time. You know, he would give us a little money here and there. You know, growing up, but you know, as far as you know, his stepkids got the bulk of him. You know, his second wife got the bulk of him, and you know, he worked a lot and all this, that, and the other, whatever. But I mean, I think a lot of it is cop outs and you know, just you know, selfishness. You know, you don't really, because I mean, honestly, like I always looked up to my dad, even though all these other things, you know, when I was growing up, I always wanted to have time with him or be, you know, be in his life, this, that, and the other. And then it's just kind of like he's repeating it again with now my son, that he doesn't want us, you know, spend time with him, or you know, like it's a burden that you have somebody younger, you know, kid that comes and stays in his house, and you know, like as if my son is some kind of animal, like he just, you know, like oh, it's like every kid you know, just rambunctious and all that. No, my kid, like you know my son, like I mean, my
That's his
current son
blood.
is, but like it's
And
I don't know, bro.
it
It
hurts.
kind
It
of eats at me.
hurts. It
It
hurts. It
kind of
hurts.
eats
That's what
at
it
me, and
is.
I act like
Because
it doesn't. It
yeah, it hurts. It hurts. I know. I can hear it in your voice, and it hurts me. You know, I don't understand how people. Because I had the same issue with my daughter, bro, and I because she's mixed, bro, and people, some people in my family would treat her differently, bro. And you know, like the child didn't, you know, like how can you do that? Like the child didn't make the decision to, you know, be what they are. You know what I'm saying? How can you take that out on a child and they didn't have no power over that? Like they don't have no power over that. Like there's nothing they could do about that. So I mean, like, and it hurts. It hurts. It hurts. It hurts. So, but you know, us acknowledging that pain, you know, is important, I think, and that's why it's good about this show. Is like therapy. Again, we're talking about breaking generational curses, and maybe you know, think about this. Do you think that maybe your dad possibly could have went through something similar
Well,
as a
and you
child?
know that's the, cause see, me and my cousin that I always talk to, we were kind of discussing some of this, and you know that's the thing, like you know, I was doing ancestry and, you know, trying to get, you know, information, things that I can pass on to my son because he doesn't have a direct connection with my dad for him to be like, yeah, my dad, blah, 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 you know, word of mouth. So, you know, at
Right.
least I can say, okay, it's this, that, you know, whatever. And I can't find anything on my grandfather, you know, like the only,
And
you
that's
know,
up.
he did, my dad did tell me who, you know, that like their names or whatever, because like they were all like my dad's dad was like real old. Like he died like before
When
I was
we
born.
when we do
My
have a
great
chance, we
grandfather.
gotta get in them baby boomers' ass
That's what I was about
before
to
they
say.
ass.
That's
We
what I was
gotta
about to
dig in
say.
their ass.
I was about to
Like
say that. You
you
really
gonna give it
gotta
up.
just ask.
You gonna give it
That's
up.
so. I was about to say that's exactly what I was about to say, Elliot, and I'm passionate about it. So, like, he's still alive. You need to try to find a way to at least, like, you can sideways do this shit. Fucking have lunch, whatever the hell it is, and just be sideways, asking little old questions, and you're fucking taking notes. You know what I'm saying? To get more information to hopefully get you to that point. Because if the names is missing, maybe it's the uncle or somebody else or brother or
Man,
somebody.
my grandma don't want to
You know,
give
the
up
parent.
shit. She straight from Louisiana. You ask her questions, she look at you like you crazy. I'm
It's
like, girl,
it's it's
I'm a
But
OG in
look,
this
but no.
motherfucker right now. I
Look,
was a young nigga before, 10 years ago. I'm a OG now. Give me some information. Nothing.
yeah. My mom is won't
yeah,
give me nothing hardly either. Go ahead.
yeah. I would say the pandemic gives them another reason for them to be able to shut you
Yep.
out as well. You know what I'm saying? It's
Damn.
like, you know,
Damn. That's a whole nother thing because I'm having that same problem with my mom and them. They still real skittish. and you gotta, you kind of be sympathetic about that because older people are the ones that's most likely to, to be impacted by this. So, but yeah, that's a whole nother barrier, bro. Look how many things COVID has done. Damn,
Yeah,
damn.
and I
That
want
just
I
made me
don't
more
believe
sad.
I don't necessarily believe in the hokey pokey, and of course if I'm not taking it, my son's not taking it. So what I'm saying, it's like I mean, you know what? I mean, it's just one of those things. Like my son doesn't know what he's missing. I feel like, once he gets older, like, with me, like I didn't know what I was missing when I was a kid, what I'm saying? And, there was a lot of times where I know that, like, and I've, like I said, I've had good, peers, good times with him, when I was like in a teenage years or whatever, because that's when he kind of got his freedom when he was getting his divorce from his second wife. Um, you know, Going into this third wife, I thought things were going to be better because I mean, in the beginning, it was like very inclusive and hey, I want this, but then as like I'm growing and because I went to college mainly because of them, not because it was I was seeking really college. It was just that they, this is what you need to do, whatever, blah blah blah. And them, my dad being somewhat successful, if you really want to call it that. I mean, I not really, yeah, I guess it's successful. He made good money. He worked through a plant, most of most of his years. Um, and like I said, I just try to follow him and I guess find a way to have more time with him. And of course, through I guess childhood pains, I wrote him a letter and left it for him, and then pretty much start getting accused of me, having an issue. I might want to kill them or some kind of crazy shit where I'm
And
just
it's
expressing the pain that I was having from a kid, from things that bothered me, and trying to get it off my chest. To be honest with the people I'm, at the time was living with,
and
but
it's
it
so
was
fucking
taken from
hard.
me.
It's so fucking hard. We gotta try to break these generational curses though, because what's gonna happen is it's gonna continue, right? It's gonna happen again.
No, it's not. I mean, because my son. I mean, say, bro, I'm gonna tell you, he's very much loved in many places. The places, because I mean, his mom's family. Oh my God, my mom, like she's just like. She gets to the point where of course, me and my mom, we have an awesome relationship. We always have been like that's my dog. And I make it, I laugh about it, but I was like, shoot, she don't care if I come, she wants to see Patrick. You know what I'm saying? She wants to see Lil Pat, but now she's very. My mom is always been there. Patrick goes there for the summer. He spends as much time as he wants there. He had like it's shoot. That's another home. You know what I'm saying? His his grandfather on his mom's side, his mom's dad, is awesome. His grandmother passed on his mom's side, you know, 2 years ago now. Um, but either way, like he's got plenty of people who does love him, and like I said, I'm not gonna force him into a situation where somebody who's like the negativity. No, like why would I force him to be around people that don't really care about people? They care about the people they want to care about. They kind of want to be in the little clubs of different round different people, I guess, of their community. But then other people who are actually blood, they look down on and think that, you know, or act as if they're not, you know,
Well,
good
well,
enough. You know what I'm saying?
I,
So
I haven't heard much from Doc about this topic, bro. What do you think about the? I think Elliot's question is what we probably should kind of focus on, because he said, "What do we, what do we
which is
do about this?" So and then I said, "Well, we got to break these generational curses." So then, how the hell do we do that? All these barriers, because everything that's Pat saying are examples of barriers that we're all facing to deal with this, to try to
well,
break this curse.
no, I mean you don't like. I'm gonna tell you, bro. Some people, I think God does not allow some people to be that close to you or others, because I mean their spirits, whatever kind of spirits they have, and that's roaming around in their world, is not conducive to the ones that are in yours. And they might look at it as if you know saying you're the bad guy, but honestly I'm like, hey, look, I'm totally blessed over here. There's so much love. Like, I mean, I don't, you know it's
But
just
still, look,
I
my
rather I'd
argument to
rather not say.
that, my
I,
argument to
I
that is, if these people are direct lineage to this child, then the child being exposed to this can help them be aware of what's in them too, and maybe help them to keep from end up going down that road. What if, like, you don't introduce your child to like a part of their family, and then they grow up to be just like that person?
well,
Just
I don't want my son to be exposed to poison. If I had a pedophile in my family, do I force him to go be around that?
Well, not let them spend the night, that's for sure.
Well,
But
No,
you're stretching.
but
But
I'm just
my
saying. I mean,
solution,
for
my solution
instance,
to the problem is that I think that everyone should write. Reading is the key to freedom, and so I think that people should write their thoughts down, write their life experiences, create some sort of a book, pass it down to the next person, and give it to the next person. People don't even write letters anymore. It's all everything is like quick transaction, microwave society. Write down your thoughts, write a book, and say, okay, well, this is how I looked at it from a first person perspective, and then you write your book from your perspective, and then kind of like pass it down.
well, I
It's
have a
it's
book
easier
that
it's easier said than done, but
yeah, because people not gonna read
we
that,
all
bro.
we all have the
But
opportunity.
but look,
Yeah, I
what
mean,
I
my
think is,
my dad would just be offended. Like, I mean, if I, was the, because
Who
I mean, I
cares?
actually have. No, no, I don't.
Yeah, man. That's what I
that's
was
hot
saying,
shit
man.
right there,
You know what I'm saying?
man.
So what we gonna do? We gonna
We want you to be an activist, and don't take our word for it. Look that shit up. Pulley.